Hi, my name is Eva and I work at Elsevier. I'm also a person with a so-called migration and refugee background and belong to a small percentage of people with similar biographies in Germany who successfully completed their university degree. In recent years, several studies from McKinsey and Stifterverband, the Mercator-Bertelsmann Foundation, as well as individual researchers have investigated how people with such biographies are experiencing the German higher education system and what it means for inclusion and diversity at German universities. The good news first. The diversity has increased, and compared to 20 years ago, the number of those students has doubled. With every fifth student in 2016 having a migration background, they are an intrinsic part of the German academic system. However, dropout rates among those with migration background remain higher, with students coming from more complex socioeconomic backgrounds and facing more challenges within and beyond academia. Yet, their realities and needs are not reflected in the way curricula are designed, both from a content as well as pedagogical perspective. My own experience as a university student differed in many ways from those of my German peers. I always felt a lack of understanding and visibility on different levels of the university to accommodate for the complexity of experiences like mine, coming from a non-academic, working class, social, ethnically, and culturally diverse background, finally resulting in fewer and less specific support and sponsorship opportunities. So the further in academia you go, the fewer students and later lecturers or professors with multifaceted identities and migration experience will remain. And this is what we really need inclusion for. It's not enough to have the most diverse body of aspiring and talented students. They also need to be equally and fairly supported while in university, with less focus on purely academic achievements or grades and creating options to build their network and careers. This is where academic libraries can come in and have a leading role, as they have always been places of exchange and development. With the changing environment in academia, librarians are constantly adapting to these changes and serving as connecting bodies within and outside their institutions. For example, by providing more inclusive and intersectional content, through developing training, acquiring new topics of expertise, or being the liaison with academic publishers. At Elsevier, we've also undergone many changes to create new future perspectives and learn what inclusion means in practice every day. Here is where we can share best practices or support and co-develop initiatives. Everyone working in or with the academic and research communities has the opportunity to take up the responsibility for creating the change that is needed.
Elsevier have adapted from being a publisher to a leading data and analytics provider to continue supporting the evolving goals of librarians, researchers, and businesses alike. And have no doubt, diversity is good for science and it's good for business. If you read McKinsey studies quantifying the impact of gender and racial diversity on profit, or literature showing publications of authors with more diverse collaborators are more impactful than expected. Our CEO's allowance of 16 hours per year to participate in employee resource groups has leveraged our compassion to accelerate business-led projects to reduce inequalities. Like, for example, Elsevier's 3-4 medical app only had a male model with a female pelvic some 4x before, and 57% thought the product was adequately diverse in terms of sex. Shockingly high figure reflecting how the systemic lack of diversity infiltrates people's beliefs of what's adequate in training. And since releasing our female model, students spend twice as much time studying it compared to the male one now. And we'll continue tracking trends like this closely to see if adoption of inclusive tools by librarians, curricula, and ultimately students leads us closer to our goal of reducing bias in education, research, and health disparities downstream.